Shadowing and Listening English.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to Shadowing and Listening English, the place where you don't just listen to English, you live it through real-life conversations. I'm Alice.
And I'm David.
Today, we are going to talk about something that sits at the very heart of human achievement. It's the constant tug of war between two forces, motivation and self-discipline. We live in a world obsessed with feeling inspired. We watch hustle culture videos, we read quotes on Instagram, and for 5 minutes, we feel like we can move mountains. But then, Monday morning comes, the alarm goes off, and that mountain-moving feeling is nowhere to be found. Why? Joining me today to solve this puzzle is David. David, how are you doing? And did you need motivation to show up today?
Hey, Alice. It's great to be here. Honestly, if I waited for motivation, I'd probably still be in bed scrolling through cat videos. I'm here because of a calendar notification and a habit. And I think that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. The difference between feeling like doing something and just doing it.
Let's start with definitions. People often use these terms interchangeably, but they are very different animals, right?
Totally different. Think of motivation as a spark. It's that sudden rush of energy. It's emotional, it's spontaneous, and it's usually triggered by something external, a movie, a speech, or even a breakup. It's great for starting, but it's very unstable.
And self-discipline?
That's the battery. It's the quiet, boring, and often difficult ability to keep moving when the spark is gone. If motivation is the why, discipline is the how. Motivation is a feeling, discipline is a practice.
I've noticed that my discipline is strong in the morning, but by 8 p.m., I'm eating ice cream on the couch. Why does discipline get weaker as the day goes on?
That's a great observation, Alice. In psychology, we call that decision fatigue. Every time you make a choice, what to wear, what to eat, which email to answer, you use up a little bit of your willpower fuel. By the evening, your fuel tank is empty.
So that's why it's so hard to resist junk food or study late at night.
Exactly. This is why highly disciplined people don't actually have stronger willpower. They just make fewer decisions. They wear the same types of clothes, they meal prep, and they have a set routine. They save their fuel for the things that truly matter.
We live in an era of instant gratification. TikTok, Netflix, fast food, everything is designed to give us a hit of dopamine right now. How does this kill our long-term discipline?
Our brains are still wired for the Stone Age. Back then, if you found honey or fruit, you ate it immediately because you didn't know when you'd find food again. Today, the world is full of digital honey.
And our brains can't say no.
Right. Motivation loves instant rewards. Discipline, however, is about delayed gratification. It's the ability to say, I will suffer a little bit now so I can have a much better life later. In a world of 15-second videos, staying disciplined for a 3-month goal is like a superpower.
Some people hear the word discipline and they think of a prison. They think it means no fun, no spontaneity, and just being a robot. What do you say to that?
I actually think the opposite is true. There's a famous quote from Jocko Willink, discipline equals freedom.
That sounds like a contradiction. How can being strict with yourself make you free?
Think about it. If you're disciplined with your money, you have the freedom to travel. If you're disciplined with your health, you have the freedom to play sports without pain. If you're disciplined with your work, you have the freedom of time later. People who have no discipline are slaves to their moods and their impulses. They aren't free, they're just reacting to their cravings.
Okay, let's get practical. For our listeners who are struggling to learn English or build a new career, what is the first step to building a discipline muscle?
Start so small it feels stupid. If you want to study English, don't say, I will study for 2 hours. Say, I will open the book and read 1 sentence.
Just 1 sentence? That seems too easy.
That's the point. You want to remove the friction. The hardest part of any task is the transition from not doing to doing. Once you've opened the book, you'll probably read for 20 minutes, but the goal is just to open it.
And what about the 2-day rule you mentioned earlier?
Ah, yes. Life happens. You'll get sick, you'll have an emergency, or you'll just have a really bad day. The 2-day rule is simple. Never miss twice. You can miss one day, but you must show up the next day. This prevents a mistake from becoming a habit of quitting.
David, I've realized that when I have a very strong why, discipline becomes easier. If I'm learning English just because I should, I quit. But if I'm learning it to get my dream job, I keep going.
You've hit the nail on the head. Motivation, the why, is the fuel, and discipline, the how, is the car. You can have a Ferrari, but without fuel, it's just a heavy piece of metal. You need to connect your daily, boring tasks to your big, exciting dreams.
So every time I'm doing a boring shadowing exercise, I should imagine myself speaking fluently at a global conference.
Exactly. Visualize the result to spark motivation, then use discipline to execute the process.
What about friends? Sometimes you're trying to be disciplined, maybe you're on a diet or studying hard, and your friends say, "Oh, come on, it's just one night. Don't be so boring." How do we handle that?
That's tough. But remember, people often try to pull you down because your discipline makes them feel guilty about their own lack of it. You have to be okay with being the boring one for a while. True friends will eventually respect your consistency.
We've covered so much. The science, the psychology, the social aspect. So back to the main question, which wins?
In the short term, motivation wins because it's exciting. But in the long term, discipline wins 100% of the time. Motivation is a guest who visits once in a while. Discipline is the person who lives in the house and keeps the lights on.
That is such a perfect way to put it. You know, David, speaking with you today reminded me of a story I once heard. It's about two woodcutters. One was highly motivated. He ran into the forest and started swinging his axe wildly. He worked 12 hours a day, but his axe got dull and he got tired. The second woodcutter was disciplined. He spent 2 hours every morning sharpening his axe, and then he cut for only 6 hours. In the end, the disciplined woodcutter cut twice as much wood with half the effort.
Wow, that's a beautiful metaphor for life. Discipline is our way of sharpening the axe.
Exactly. To our listeners, don't just be the person swinging the axe blindly. Be the person who has the discipline to sharpen their skills every single day, even when they don't feel like it. Thank you so much, David, for this deep dive. I feel like I've learned enough to stay disciplined for a year.
Let's start with just today, Alice. One day at a time.
Deal. And thank you to everyone who stayed with us until the end of this long episode. Your support means the world to us. If you're still here, comment the word unstoppable below so we know you made it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We have so much more content coming your way to help you master your mind and your language skills. I'm Alice, and this was David. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay curious, and keep moving forward. Bye-bye.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.